at least 3,332 new coronavirus deaths were reported in the United States in a 24-hour period, according to a tally by Johns Hopkins University, one of the deadliest days since the outbreak began. The total death toll in the country has reached 49,963 amid over 869,000 cases. 26 million people have sought U.S. jobless aid in the past 5 weeks since the coronavirus hit. About 1 in 6 American workers have lost their jobs, by far the worst string of layoffs since the Great Depression of the 1930s. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a nearly $500 billion spending package to help businesses and hospitals. More than 190,000 people have died due to the pandemic, including 50,000 in the U.S., with 2.7 million infected globally, out of whom almost 750,000 have recovered. Testing of an experimental coronavirus-19 vaccine began on healthy volunteers at University of Oxford in Britain, the latest in a cluster of early-stage studies in search of protection against the coronavirus. The head of the World Health Organization (WHO) says there are worrying upward trends in early epidemics in parts of Africa and Central and South America, warning that the virus will be with us for a long time. Friday, April 24, Pompeo urges Egypt to keep U.S. prisoners safe. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo stressed to his Egyptian counterpart that Americans detained in Egypt should be kept safe during the coronavirus pandemic. The State Department on Thursday did not give any details about U.S. prisoners, but 3 Americans held in Egypt were mentioned in a letter by a bipartisan group of U.S. senators sent to Pompeo this month, asking him to call for the release of Americans detained in several countries, citing the risk from the virus. Pompeo, in his call with Egypt's Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry, emphasized that detained U.S. citizens be kept safe and provided consular access during the coronavirus-19 pandemic, the State Department said in a statement. Pakistan using intelligence services to track cases. Pakistan is using a contact tracing system, developed by its intelligence services to combat terrorism, to fight the coronavirus, the country's prime minister has said, as coronavirus-19 cases continue to spike in the South Asian country. Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence service is supporting the government in tracing and tracking people who may have been in contact with those who test positive for the virus. The ISI has given us a great system for track and trace, said Pakistani PM Imran Khan on a live telecast of a telethon on Thursday. It was originally used against terrorism, but now it has come in useful against coronavirus. U.S. reports 3,332 deaths in 24 hours, Johns Hopkins tally. The U.S. suffered one of the deadliest days of the pandemic with 3,332 fatalities in 24 hours. The overall death toll in the U.S. now sits at 49,963, according to a tally from Johns Hopkins University. The U.S., the worst-hit country in the world, now has 868,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus, up 27,000 from the previous day. Because of a lack of testing, the actual number of infections is likely to be much higher. Experts react with horror to Trump disinfectant idea. Doctors and epidemiologists have reacted with alarm to comments from U.S. President Donald Trump that injecting disinfectant and exposure to ultraviolet rays could help people with the coronavirus. Trump is absolutely wrong and irresponsible. Dr. Eugene G. Yu, whose laboratory is involved in coronavirus testing, wrote on Twitter, adding, "Clorox, Tide Pods and Lysol will kill coronavirus. No question about it. But if you are infected, then the coronavirus is inside your cells. If you use any of those disinfectants to kill the coronavirus in your own cells, then you'll die right along with the coronavirus."